So good morning everybody and welcome to part of the IBS hypnosis protocol. Today I'm going to be talking about gut bacteria and IBS. I may sound a little bit snuffly. I have had a head cold for a few days, so if I'm sounding a bit like crackly or anything like that, please, it's not your microphone, it's me, okay? So here we go. Gut bacteria. Does gut bacteria create disturbances with IBS? IBS is such a complex issue, and there's all these people out there trying to make these determinations on causes and cures because we just don't have enough studies on it at the moment. But I'm going to show you some information about it so that way you can guide your clients towards a better outcome. Excuse me. So since October 2017, we've run 18 events across Australia. We're about to run our 19th one next week. We've trained over 170 people in the IBS hypnosis protocol, and the AHA approached us and asked us to be registered with them for 10 CPD points. So if you need those 10 CPD points, then please come along to the event. I'll sign you off and you're good to go. We have also released the IBS hypnosis protocol online to reach people outside of Australia, and we will be in New Zealand at the end of November this year. Tickets have already started selling, so if you need a ticket, please jump on right now. When you study the IBS hypnosis protocol, you're also studying other things like gut-directed hypnotherapy, the issues with Crohn's, colitis, nutrition. This is a whole kit and caboodle. We're not going to upsell you to a master gut-directed course or any bullshit like that when we get to the end of it. This is the whole shebang, and yes, we teach you how to sell it to clients and to get professionals on board as well. Like I said, there is no masterclass to this. We're not going to get to the end of it and tell you that you need more IBS training and stuff like that. We don't go through that. We just give you the whole lot straight out in 2 days, the full criteria. So we've done Melbourne, Adelaide and Sydney. We're off to Perth next week. Absolutely stoked, completely sold out. We've got Brisbane in September. Please jump onto your tickets for that. It's only $40 for a pay plan to get you started. And we are in New Zealand at the end of November. So come on along. It is a 2-day live event. And if you need those CPD points, you do need to join in for the whole criteria over those 2 days. So let's get on with it. Gut bacteria and IBS. Now, when it comes to gut bacteria, oh, I do apologize. So, gut bacteria. Bacteria is present in the normal gut. It's present inside the intestines, especially in the lower part of the intestines. They achieve concentrations of several billions in the colon. There are billions and billions of different types of gut bacteria that's floating along in the gut tract. Now, there's normal bacteria that has a very important function in life, which includes protecting against infection of diseases that's causing bacteria, helping with your immune system for the gut to develop, producing a variety of substances that have an important nutrition value, and together the normal intestinal bacteria are often referred to as the gut flora or the microbiota. And it's completely natural to have these bacteria in your intestinal tract. A number of factors may disturb the balance of the flora and the gut in the body, but when this happens, bacteria that has been causing disease can actually take hold of the intestinal tract. So what is the role of the gut microbiota? There are many exciting developments and discoveries being made about the connection between the gut and our brain every single day. We're getting more and more studies done, which is absolutely fantastic, and we're understanding it more and more as we go through life. The connection between the gut and the brain is becoming hugely apparent, especially in our society now. We are starting to accept that it's all part of the criteria and that we actually have 2 brains in our bodies, not just the one. Oh, I'm flicking around there. I thought I dropped out. So it's also important to know the function of the GI disorders like IBS. Now, it's not a psychological disease, okay? It's definitely a psychological diseasing, but it's not a psychological disease. However, we do also know that there is an external representation that's being processed internally incorrectly. So the connection between the main brain and the gut brain is disturbed. So that's where the psychological side comes in. The brain does play a very important role in this, and the brain communicates constantly with the microorganisms that are inside us. The microbes have a cooperative relationship with us, not only playing a role in digestion, but also interacting and communicating with our very own cells. You can look up Dr. Bruce Lipton when it comes to all of this information. He is absolutely fantastic, and he talks about how we are in control of our cells inside our body and how we have receptors on our cells that change and grow depending on how we process the external environment into the internal representation. And the exact same thing happens with IBS and gut related issues. Gut microbes may provide a link to helping maintain a balance between the brain and the gut. So, does bacteria really play a role when it comes to IBS? Well, there's now evidence to support that the idea that disturbances in bacteria that populate the intestines may have a role in at least some people with IBS. This evidence from observations and studies can be summarised as follows. So, antibiotic use, well known to disturb the flora that's inside the gut and may predispose individuals to IBS. So there's people that have taken IBS and have taken IBS that have taken the antibiotics and then developed IBS from it, because it's killed off not only the bad bacteria in the stomach, but also the good bacteria as well. Antibiotics aren't that smart yet. You're basically putting them into the system and they go, right, we'll kill off everything and then we'll try and regrow what we can. Some people may develop IBS suddenly following an episode of stomach or intestinal infection. So, especially when it comes to vomiting and things like that, if they have eaten some kind of food where there's been a bacteria in it, they can actually develop IBS, and they can get what's known as PI-IBS, which is post-infection IBS. So they had an infection in the gut tract and IBS was the side effects of that. There is a very low level of inflammation may also be present in the bowel wall of some IBS patients, and this is where the confusion comes in because they can't pinpoint it to one specific thing. Some people have little to no inflammation whatsoever in the wall linings of the bowel, yet they're still having extreme IBS problems, and this is where the brain-gut link is starting to become apparent. There's also small intestinal bacteria overgrowth known as SIBO that may be associated with IBS, and also Candida. Altering the bacteria in the gut by antibiotics and probiotics may improve symptoms in IBS. Now, when it comes to my clients, I do recommend that they look into a Saccharomyces boulardii in order to help their gut flora to develop back to the original healing state. So when they take the boulardii, then that way it's a very high quality probiotic. I don't recommend that clients take a probiotic that you can just get from the grocery store or something like that. They actually need to invest in a high quality probiotic. And there's many that are available at the local grocery store, and they're full of fillers, or they've got 20,000 gut flora supportive probiotic bodies in it. Yet at the same time, there's no actual nutritional value to that person because they don't know what the actual probiotic is and how it's supporting their gut flora. In PI-IBS, some people who have previously well developed IBS types of symptoms, so IBS-M, IBS-D, IBS-C, they have episodes of gastroenteritis, while some of them actually recover completely. So gastroenteritis is extremely painful and it can lead to other issues down the track if not looked after. PI-IBS represents a clear link between exposure to a bacterial infection, and IBS is those who seem especially at risk. So if you already have IBS and then you get a gut infection, then the IBS chances are will flare up and turn into a mild case of gastroenteritis. If that is not looked after or treated, then we'll have other issues that will come on board. So I'm going to scroll down a little bit and talk about the role of antibiotics when it comes to treating IBS. Hey, give me a heart, give me some likes, let me know that you're out there. Throw me a comment down in the box. I would love to talk more in depth about this subject. It's absolutely amazing and fascinating. And yes, the link to this article is available in the comments. So normally bacteria are virtually absent in the acid environment of the stomach, and then it goes into the lower and the upper intestines. There's more bacteria present in the lower intestines. It increases considerably as it goes to the lower and small part of the intestines, and then dramatically as it's crossing into the colon as it's going to expel from the body. Recently, it's been suggested that the small intestine of some IBS patients have increased numbers of bacteria, as well as types of bacteria that normally only found in the colon. And this is also present when people defecate. So there are some people with IBS out there that will actually defecate 5 to 6 times a day and feel like they've had a whole colon cleanse as such. And that's usually representation to the amount of bacteria that's in the colon that's gone into the small intestine that's made it irritated, and then it's expelled. There are 6 channels to that intestinal tract, and if that bacteria keeps going up that intestinal tract, it will cause irritation and cause the client to expel or defecate. A course of antibiotics can also improve the symptoms as well, and experts are divided as to whether or not SIBO plays a role when it comes to IBS. We will be talking more about SIBO in another video, and we'll also talk about PI-IBS as well. So the question remains as to why at least some people with IBS respond to a course of antibiotics and others do not. This has most recently been reported in studies of IBS patients treated with antibiotics rifaximin, and that was done over in the US. And rifaximin was basically a stronger version of an antibiotic that was increasing the power of it to flush out the body of the bacteria. So another explanation of these responses may be that the suppression of certain species of bacteria in the colon, and especially those bacteria that are prone to produce gas and other substances through fermentation, are actually being killed off with the antibiotics. So there has been known to have an improvement when it comes to gas-related symptoms when people are taking antibiotics, but it's also killing off all of that bacteria as well. But we do not have any evidence when it comes to bloating, flatulence, and SIBO. So antibiotics clearly help some IBS patients, but not all. But when it comes to SIBO, it's a whole different kettle of fish. So a prolonged course of antibiotic therapy, it will actually, you need to approach with caution, regardless of the safety that is read on the bottle and things like that. It's reacting differently with different people, especially those who have IBS. And IBS is a chronic and relapsing condition. It will come and go. Sometimes it comes back with an absolute vengeance without any warning at all, and other times it'll dwindle on for days, months, even years. Some people obtain a relatively long-lasting improvement following a single course of antibiotics, but others do not. This is why it is a syndrome. So, is there a role for probiotics in treating IBS? So, given their safety profile, effectively probiotics would at first appear to be more attractive as a means of influence to the gut flora in IBS. So we do recommend that our clients take a high quality probiotic, especially at the start of their IBS hypnosis protocol. So are probiotics really effective when it comes to IBS? Well, there are several studies that show that a variety of probiotics in IBS is actually very good, but it's been the quality that's needed to come in the firm of a conclusion. So if you read this article, you will read that the quality of probiotics that people are taking is not up there. They're taking these very low quality probiotics and then they're not getting the results, and then that's leading to these studies being inconclusive. So you do need a very high quality probiotics. So that's why we recommend the Saccharomyces boulardii, and because it's a very high quality probiotic, and it's something that we usually, when you go to the chemist, or you usually do have to order it online. So that way, because it is quite expensive, but it has a huge amount of health benefits. So more recently, there have been evidence of benefits from some probiotic combinations. So the best evidence relates to a particular organism called, I'll get it right, okay, Bifidobacterium infantis 35624. Studies have shown that this strain to be superior to placebo in relieving the main symptoms of IBS, and that's where the Boulardi comes in, because it actually works with that infatus. So in summary, when it comes down to the crux of it, many recent findings add to the growing body of the evidence to suggest that IBS may result, at least part, from a dysfunctioning interaction between our gut flora and our cells. So the low-grade inflammation in the gut wall may spill into other areas of the body. Now, some researchers propose that the role of bacteria overgrowth in the small intestine is a common factor and is causing the symptoms of IBS, and other evidence points to subtle changes in the colonic flora are actually changing the IBS as well. Both of these hypotheses are still unconfirmed, but when it comes to IBS, it's not only about the gut flora, it's all about the nutrition. It's also about how people are processing stress and their environments and where they're living. So, nevertheless, a short-term amount of antibiotics and probiotics does reduce the symptoms among some people with IBS. Whether or not these effects came out in changes in huge numbers or not, the point is that there is evidence to show that when we look after ourselves with a very high quality probiotic and some really good nutrition and some relaxation techniques, then we can actually start to reduce the symptoms of IBS. So here are some things I recommend. Supplements, they must be of good quality, so a high quality probiotic. Anything that you're buying in the supermarket, you may as well throw your money in the gutter and watch people chase after it. You'll get much more entertainment out of that activity and a lot more relaxation and probably a really good memory and a laugh. The supplements that we're buying at the local grocery store are not high quality, and many of them have a lot of fillers as well. If you do have IBS, or if the client is suffering from IBS, especially when it comes to IBS-D, which is IBS diarrhea, antibiotics may be required because the colon may be actually expelling some of that bacteria overgrowth that has gone from the colon to the lower intestine. And if you have any questions, please ask me. I am here to help. I absolutely love discussing this stuff. Throw it in the comments. Let's have a chat. So, if you are coming to Perth, we only have a couple of tickets left. As much as we are sold out, we could squeeze in a couple of more if you actually want to come, okay? When you study the IBS hypnosis protocol, you're not only getting all of the techniques and new techniques as well. This is not just another rehashed whatever. You're getting new techniques as well. And you're also getting the full criteria, all about nutrition, CBTs, pre-talks. You're also getting all of the systems of success when it comes to getting a doctor on board and getting referral systems, and we teach you how to sell it as well. Like I said before, there is no upsell when it comes to the masterclass of IBS. We don't do that. At the end of the day, we give you the whole kit and caboodle because we need more gut-directed hypnotherapists in the industry to go out and heal people. So next time I'm going to be talking about men and IBS. Please hit that subscribe button. If you're watching this on YouTube, let me know that you're out there, and check out my channel on YouTube, Palin and Palmer. If you would like a ticket to our event, just look up palinandpalmer.com/events, or the link is in the description. We need more gut-directed hypnotherapy, so jump onto it because it's becoming a bigger issue. It's bigger than smoking, and you will be absolutely flat out. So otherwise from that, I'll see you in the next video, guys. Have an awesome day. Bye-bye. Mwah.